Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this exciting advertiser special. This is a show that is done purely to commemorate the World International Safety Day. And today this show is brought to you by Nexton Limited. Actually, these are key players in the world safety matters. I don't know how to put it, but the person we are with on set is well able and capable and has the ability to expound on what international safety is all about. So ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, allow me to introduce the CEO, the founder, the MD and the person behind Nexton Limited, Madam Mary Waweru. Welcome on set.
Thank you so much.
Karibu.
Asante sana.
Najua watu wanaonga to Nexton Limited.
For real.
Ajui what is the face or who is the face behind this? You look good. Welcome on set.
Thank you.
I remember the former president said, your safety is your personal choice.
Yes.
So why are we celebrating this day? I mean,
all right. My name is Mary Waweru. I'm the director Nexton Limited. I'm a fire safety auditor, and I'm an air quality monitor. Additionally, I'm a lead auditor, QMS.
why?
And the International Standards Organization 9001.
QMS.
Yes.
What is QMS?
QMS is an abbreviation for Quality Management System,
all right.
which is a standard under ISO, which we call it, ISO is an abbreviation again, but it simply means International Standard Organization. When we say 9001, 2018 is actually when it was incepted.
Okay.
So I'm a lead auditor under that standard.
All right.
Yes. You asked a very important question concerning the World Safety Day, or what we popularly call World Occupational Safety and Health Day.
Okay.
It's a day that was meant to create awareness on matters occupational safety and health to every worker and to the employers at the same time, so that we together as a team, both the employer and the employee, would create a safe and healthy working environment in each and every workplace. It's meant to also commemorate and remember the people and the workers who've lost their lives in line of duty.
So it's like we are commemorating those who have lost their lives in line of duty.
We are commemorating the same and now creating an awareness on how the people, the workers who are already alive can create a safe working environment to ensure that their workplaces are less hazardous and the risks have been reduced to a level that every worker who comes in the morning will go back to their home even better than they came to their workplace.
How is it that Nexton has come into being? And you are now one of the leading players on matters occupational safety and health. So what is the legal framework within the Kenyan precincts that you people work under?
We are governed by the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, which is a department under the Ministry of Labour. And this is the department that is responsible in licensing and approving the experts, so that we become active players in raising awareness and creating awareness in totality on occupational safety and health. Nexton Limited, since its inception in 2018, has been an active player and partner with the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health in promoting awareness concerning occupational safety and health, and how a worker would be safe while he's at workplace. Now, the legal frameworks that guides us, because there's a standard that also guides the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, is the Occupational Safety and Health Act 2007.
That is the OSHA 2007.
That's OSHA.
I remember I studied that thing in campus.
Yes. Before OSHA came into place, there was an earlier act that was in use, and that's the Factories and Other Places of Work Act. The reason why occupational safety and health is superior than the factories and other places of work, and also the Factories Act, which was also there before their factories and other places of work came in, is because OSHA is more inclusive. Everywhere where there's a worker, whether it's regardless of the numbers, it becomes a workplace, unlike the Factories and other places of work Act, because it was only concentrating more on factories. And the other Factories Act also just concentrated on the factories alone. Now, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, it works together like in a synergic movement with another act called WIBA.
WIBA is Work Injury Benefits
Act.
Yes.
Work Injury Benefit Act. Now, if you look at Occupational Safety and Health Act, is more preventive, because it is the one that outlines both the duties of an employer and the duties of the employee. It's the one that guides us on how we can make our environment better in terms of working environment and reduce the dangers of occupational diseases. It's the one that outlines on the experts that are to be licensed and who is licensed to act where.
You can only then practice after you've been licensed.
You can only practice after you have been licensed, and I need to mention that there are several categories of licensing. In terms of the experts available with the Directorate of Occupational, under the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, and one of them is the fire safety auditors. That's one category. There's the safety advisors. They are the ones who are responsible of occupational safety and health audit and risk assessment. There's the air quality monitors, like I mentioned, I have been licensed as one, and these are the people that looks at the health and hygienic surveillance. Hygienic surveillance is simply saying that I have the capacity in the category I've been licensed as an AQM, we call it AQM, air quality monitor, to conduct the industrial air quality. We call it indoor air quality. And this is taking into consideration now the pollutants that can affect you as a worker and give you a risk or pose you to a risk of contracting occupational diseases while you are at workplaces. A human ear can only take a certain amount of decibel or noise before it becomes destructive, which is 85 decibels as stipulated in the law and in the standards. There are measures that you must put to make sure that a worker who is exposed to a noise, let's say, of 120 decibel, will not be exposed to that noise continuously for 8 hours. So there could be reduced noise shifts or reduced amount of time taken in that noisy environment. There could be maybe reduction of time. Those are measures, reduction of time taken. There could be change of shifts depending on the amount of noise available. And those are the things an AQM is able to do. The other category that I was mentioning of the categories available at the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health is the plant examiners, the experts responsible of checking the equipment to make sure that the workers who are using these equipment on a daily basis the equipment have met the standards as required. There are 3 categories of plant examination. There's lifting equipment inspectors, and there's refrigeration plant, and there's also pressure vessels. Each category has its own, the ministry has already outlined which category, which equipment falls under what category if you read the Occupational Safety and Health Act 2007.
I want us to move a bit from that, and remember we're celebrating the International World Safety Day, and Madam Mary, maybe you just can remind the viewers of our theme for this year's celebrations.
The theme for this year, which is 2023, is a safe and healthy working environment, a fundamental right.
Wow. Yeah. So safe and healthy working environment is a fundamental right, and that is what the ILO and the proponents of the International World Safety Day are vouching for. So I want us to connect these two things, the International World Safety Day and Nexton Limited, and the various services that you offer that contribute to the safety of the world, as it were, because even the place of work is world. And you know, I was looking at some of the things you people do as a company, and I was just going through these things, and I was like, maybe you could just have a look at them and get to hear more about them. There's the bit where you're doing the air quality testing and laboratory analysis. What is that?
There's a very big correlation between occupational safety and health and environment. And when Nexton Limited was incepted in 2018, we realized that there's such a gap. Because now that we were already filling the gap in occupational safety and health, creating awareness in terms of industrial training as the company, we realized that there was need for effective and reliable testing when it comes to issues of environment, which would literally affect the worker if it is not arrested while he's at his workplace. But these environmental issues now have another legal framework. We said that occupational safety and health is guided by the Occupational Safety and Health Act and WIBA. All right? But the environmental section is usually guided by the MCA, which we call it Environmental Management and Coordination Act, which is now falling under NEMA, which is the body that is responsible or lays a legal framework when it comes to issues environment. Nexton Limited is an industrial laboratory that was that has been designated and fully accredited by NEMA, which is the authority that have the frameworks in terms of sampling and analysis on environment issues. We fall under the category of air quality testing and noise level mapping and survey. Now, when you talk about air quality, again, as you had asked in your question, we are talking of the analysis and sampling of air now that is affecting the environment this time. The other one that I had mentioned earlier for AQM, or air quality monitors under the Directorate of Occupational Safety and Health, was dealing with indoor air quality that has the ability to affect you as a worker. But this other one is on the issues of environment, how after production processes, how much pollution are you sending back to the environment after you're done with your production process. Air quality has two categories when it comes to the environment line. We have a category of stack emission testing, which basically is also called duct testing or analysis, or chimney emission testing. It takes into consideration the pollutants that are being emitted from a source emitting equipment. When I talk of source emitting equipment, I'm talking of boilers or incinerators or generators. Now, these pollutants have the capacity of destroying the ozone layer, which in turn affects the climate change, which in turn affects you as a worker and affects everyone else. So that's the correlation between the environment and occupational safety and health. If we do not take care of our environment, even our workers are not safe. So every employer is supposed to put in place measures to make sure that after production process, the emissions being released back to the environment are safe. At least they have been regulated to a level that they are not beyond the standard. The standard has been provided by the MCA, which we called it the Environmental Management Coordination Act. It's the one that stipulates if it's sulfur dioxide, how much of it should you not exceed.
All right.
When you're releasing the emissions back to the environment.
All right.
Now, there are several tests that you need to do for you to conclusively say that you have done the stack emission testing. These tests include the flue gas testing and the particulate matter testing. When we talk of the category of flue gas emissions, we are talking of gases like nitrogen, nitrates, like sulfur dioxides, like hydrocarbons, like carbon monoxides. We classify them, all of them, as flue gases, which has the ability to destroy the ozone layer, as we had mentioned earlier. Now, the second category of stack emission testing is particulate matter, basically the respirable dust. It's categorized into two. This particulate matter, PM 2.5 and PM 10.
I want you to say something a bit on potable water analysis,
Yeah.
and how that one is connected to safety. Yeah.
All right. One of the things that Occupational Safety and Health Act stipulates is that every worker must be provided with a clean water while he's at work. Now, assuming that you do not have clean water at your place of work, definitely it will translate to an unhealthy worker. So that's why Nexton took upon itself to begin doing the testing, that is after designation, to testing of water and again the wastewater. When you talk of wastewater, is the water after production process, before it's released back to the environment. It also needs to be tested so that we are certain how much pollution we are causing here. For clean water, it needs to be tested, and there are parameters that we have been given, there are standards that we need to compare against, and then from there we are certain whether the water is clean for consumption or if it's not. If it's not, we usually advise on the corrective and preventive actions that the employer needs to do so that at least the water is treated before it's consumed, and then that translates to a healthy worker.
So apart from going to the field to do the stack emissions, the potable water testing, how is the laboratory bit coming in terms of the things you measure when it comes to occupational safety and health?
All right. Thank you for that question. There are additional services that we offer on top of what we had mentioned earlier on stack emission and potable water testing. We also do ambient air quality testing, which basically is testing of air. We said for stack, we are measuring pollutants from the source. There's a direct source, like let's say an equipment, a specific equipment as stipulated in the Act. But for ambient air quality, it's about the air quality or pollutants that you send back to the environment after production process, basically and generally. So there's no exact source, but there are emittents there. Let's say like in occupational safety and health, and one of the measures that we usually advise the clients to do in the event where the particulate matter is high is to install local exhaust ventilation system, all right? Okay. Or something to suck up the dust and then send it towards the exit, all right? So assuming that particulate dust has been sent back to the environment at the exit level, how much of the pollutant, how do you ascertain the amount of pollutants that now you're sending back to your neighbors at the four corners of, assuming it's a factory? So that's where Nexton comes in and conducts the ambient air quality to ascertain the amount of pollution at the four perimeter walls, the four corners of the factory, and this ensures that even the neighbors, the neighboring four people or four corners, your neighbors, are at ease, because you're taking care of their well-being and also taking care of the environment at large. Right. So ambient is equally very important because it also looks at it looks at the pollutants like we had mentioned earlier, but we use a different standard to compare them against. We don't compare them on the same levels as stack emission. Okay. Each levels of pollutants after emission has to be compared against a specific standard which has been set. Okay. Now, there is occupational noise which take care of the worker and what we said about the decibels that are not supposed to exceed for a worker on a particular duration of time. But now there is the environmental noise. All right. The difference is the occupational noise is taking care of the worker's ear, but the environmental noise is taking care of the environment at large, and the noise again you send back to the environment.
So you can say this one takes care of the community.
Yes, the community at large. And that's what Nexton is actively involved to ensure that there is also sensitization, to ensure that there is mitigation factors in the event where the noise is exceeding. There was a factory even we recommended that they install silencers on their generator so that again it doesn't vibrate so much, and it was affecting even the neighbors. You have been in a place where road construction is going on and the houses are beginning to crack. So Nexton is usually involved in testing the amount of vibration being emitted by the equipments that are emitting the vibration, so that again the community at large, after the road construction is complete, is at ease. So that's a very important level.
You can end up having the road and you don't have people living there.
Definitely.
So there's no one to use the road.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's the connection between Nexton Limited and the World International Safety Day, which is being celebrated today, the 28th of April, and every other year. So this year we are commemorating this through this special advertisers program that is coming to you on Elevate TV, where we are advancing Kingdom Lifestyle. And speaking to us is the MD of Nexton Limited herself, Madam Mary Waweru. What is HVAC validation and how does it correspond to what you're doing in the field or in the office or in your workplace, and how does it affect the common man who is watching us right now? And they're wondering, World Safety Day, I mean, HVAC, sasa hizi ni vitu gani hizi?
HVAC validation involves multiple steps and procedural testing of design and checking on design. Additionally, you look at the review the design and the materials that have been used to construct a clean room. And for you to come up with a full conclusion whether the standards have been met or not, there are tests that must be conducted. These tests are not only laboratory tests, but also the environmental tests, which includes the temperature and humidity testing, the viable testing, the airflow velocity, the airflow patterns, all right, which we usually call it visualization test. We look at HEPA integrity testing. There's a filter test that you must conduct on high efficiency particulate HEPA filters. It's actually a filter integrity test. In totality, these tests ascertain the amount of cleanliness in a room, in a given room, where production of either sterile or non-sterile drugs is going on. So once the HVAC has been properly done, it means that the medicines that we'll be taking or the drugs we'll be taking, even in case a worker is not feeling well, is actually good and fit for his health. So that's why we had to fill in the gap to also ensure in the event where the worker is not feeling well, they're not picking drugs that have not been standardized or they have not followed the procedures.
All right. So basically HVAC validation is to ensure the safety in facilities, more so pharmaceutical facilities, if that's what you're saying, right? And to ensure that once these drugs are produced and the end user is not negatively or improperly affected by the use of these drugs, because their quality at the place of manufacture is assured. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been the first part of this amazing show. This is the Advertiser Special. It's a special program brought to you by Nexton Limited, and it's all matters safety on this World International Safety Day. We are going to come back in the second bit of the show, and we're going to go through all this you're seeing here, and we're going to talk about these equipments, what they do, why are they here, what is it that we must know about them, and that great man is going to come here. Here is a daktari. He'll tell us when he's on set. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a breather and pay some bills before we come back. See you in the second part of the show.
Nexton Limited is a duly NEMA designated industrial laboratory having adequate capacity and competence under ISO 17025 certification for laboratory competence to carry out sampling, testing and analysis, which includes stack emission testing, ambient air analysis, indoor air quality monitoring and noise level mapping and survey. Additionally, we offer consultancy services in line with occupational safety and health and environment, which includes occupational safety health audits, fire safety audits, risk assessment, energy audits and environmental audits. We are certified to conduct HVAC and clean room system revalidation and requalifications for pharmaceutical companies and medical facilities. For more information, contact us on 0722 150 664 or visit our website www.nexton-ehs.com. Nexton Limited, Environmental Safety and Health at Workplace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second part of this special advertisers program. We are celebrating the International World Safety Day, and this has been exclusively brought to you by Nexton Limited, your industrial laboratory partner based pale Buruburu manze. These are numbers hapo chini. They're flowing down there. The contacts are there. The email is there. I mean, make use of them. These guys are doing amazing stuff on matters of occupational health and safety. But as I promised you in the first part, tuko hapa. Naona hapa kuna machine. Hata hii mnaona nyuma yangu hapa, ingawa mimi sioni. This one is part of those equipments. So Madam Mary, welcome back to the second bit of the show.
All right.
And maybe you can, and behind us, behind you is a gentleman. I know he'll be speaking later. He'll also be explaining, taking us through some of those equipments, but maybe you can just mention his name.
His name is Dr. Osoro.
Yes.
Maybe you can welcome.
And is he the expert here? Or?
He's the laboratory manager Nexton Limited.
All right.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have the CEO and the laboratory manager. Any teamwork sahi kwa workshop. But anyway, let's get into it. So what are some of these equipments? Because I'm looking at them and zinaka major.
We say that you're doing stack emission testing and noise survey. Those and measurements of pollutants, those are not things you ascertain using your gulu eyes. You have to use several equipments that have been standardized. Actually, the equipments that we're using have a standard and have been calibrated and have been tested and have been proven to be true. That if I want to test particulate matter, I have to use a trail. It's actually a trail. I will show you how it works. But this is just part of the equipment because we couldn't again connect everything in here. But just to show you, this is called a console.
Console.
Yes, we have been able to import a number of them so that we don't miss out. This console is actually intended to conduct particulate matter, but specifically this is an isokinetic sampler, method 5. All right, to ensure that the particulate matter have been analyzed and sampled, and then we come back to the lab and analyze the filter.
Wow.
Which will be collected. The dust will fall on that filter. So that filter is what we analyze analytically in the laboratory.
Wow.
It has a trail of equipment. There is what we call umbilical cord, connects the console and the probe, which is normally at that stipulated height, let's say on a stack. All right. For us to be able to also do stack emission, I needed to mention that there's a requirement on the owner of the facility to ensure that there is what we call a sampling point
Sampling point.
on the chimney itself and the sampling platform. That sampling platform is where the expert will step on at that given height.
Okay.
All right, and the height is where now the probe will enter, and then the pollutants will be collected from there. All right.
All right.
So the whole method is method 5. But this is the major component in the whole particulate matter sampling.
And all this we do towards ensuring that the working place is safe, and that the world is a better place.
Yeah.
And that's why this day, as we commemorate the World Safety Day, we want you to understand some of these things, so that when we talk about these things and you see people calling themselves experts on these matters, you're not surprised. You're not like, si bora tu nimekula fiti manzi, bora nimekunywa maziwa hiyo hata nipumue nini, haiwezi ni affect. It will affect you. And the employers out there, you need to understand that there are people who can actually help you ensure that the air quality and the stack emissions and whatever it is from your facility are up to the required standards. And we thank NEMA for ensuring that these standards are met in the country. By the way, you need to speak to CS Environment Soipan Tuya on these matters, because I know she's very passionate on matters safety and environment. I noticed that this is the same, and so I don't want us to repeat that.
Yeah.
But just behind me here, I've been looking at this thing and I can see sound level meter.
Yes, this is actually the sound level meter.
All right.
We say that we usually do the occupational noise survey and environmental noise survey.
So
now this is for environmental noise survey.
All
we
right.
have another one, a different one for occupational safety and health industrial survey.
All right.
Noise survey. Now, the difference between the occupational noise survey and environmental noise survey is just the standards.
The standards
that are guiding us and that we are comparing the results against.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen some of the equipments that they use in terms of occupational safety and health, and Madam Director has explained explicitly some of the functions and how these things are correlated to the work that they do, and indeed the International World Safety Day that we're celebrating today, and how these things in essence bring safety not just to work but to the world at large. I want us to move to the other side and listen to Dr. Osoro as he explains some of the other equipments that we are having here. Like this looks like almost like a fire, I don't know, fire engine or whatever it is. I can see something like a siren here. I can see something like, I don't know if it's a windsock or whatever. So I want us to get to Dr. Osoro, and the good Daktari here, who is the head of labs at Nexton Limited, is going to explain to us these things in details, so that you, the dear viewer, even as you celebrate this day, gets to understand some of the equipments that are used to ensure that your safety is assured at the place of work.
Okay, thank you. My name is Dr. Enoch Osoro. I am the laboratory manager in Nexton Limited. So we have a range of equipment here that we use daily in our work, so that we can be able to serve our customers well. So this equipment is an air quality monitor system.
Okay.
So it's used to measure a complete range of the air quality within the ambient air quality. When you want to measure the air quality, so you have to connect completely and all the compartments of this equipment.
All right.
And once you connect, then you'll be able to measure different parameters within the environment.
The environment, yeah.
This is used to measure the noise. This is used to measure the wind direction. So this instrument, as you have heard, now it can be able to measure the complete air quality within a given area. So we can be able to measure the sulfates, that's the sulfur contents in the air, the nitrates, the speed of the wind, the direction of the wind, the noise that's being produced within the area. We will be able to measure the ozone. We'll be able to measure the carbon 4 oxide. We'll be able to measure the carbon carbon dioxide. We also measure the temperature and many more.
In just one equipment, we
Yes,
measure all those.
using only this one equipment.
Wow.
And we are able to measure all those parameters. So these are a very nice equipment that we usually use every day so that we can be able to serve our client to the fullest.
All right. All right.
This is a flue gas analyzer.
Flue gas analyzer.
Yes, this is a flue gas analyzer. For you to really be sure of your measurement, sometimes we go to extra mile of confirming our results by using more than one instrument. Although our instruments are calibrated to make sure that they are in good condition, so that we can be able to ascertain our results, but we also go an extra mile to use more than one instrument so that we can be able to ascertain our result.
Okay.
So all these two instruments, we call them the flue gas analyzer. They are used to measure gases in the stack.
So this is stack emission that Madam Director was talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
So which is from a source of emission, like the boiler, the generator, and even an incinerator. So if someone has an incinerator in a given area, so we'll be able to know what are the pollutants, the gases that that person is emitting to the environment using in the stack. Yes.
All right. So what you're saying in simple terms is that this one operates the same way as this one?
Yes. Yes. This is the two of them are flue gas analyzers. So they have different components. Now we have this is the probe that we insert to the stack or to the chimney. So once we insert the probe, then we connect now the probe to this machine.
To this machine,
Then we can be able now to measure the gases that the boiler or the generator or the incinerator is emitting to the environment. So all this is to control the amount of gases or pollution that a given source is emitting to the environment. Then if you get that a given boiler or a given source is emitting more than what's recommended, then we'll be able to give a recommendation to the client or to the person concerned on what he can be able to do, so he can be able to reduce the amount of emission that's being emitted to the environment. Yes.
Good.
So we don't leave our clients stuck that we have just measured. We'll be able to give recommendations on what they need to do so that they can be able to improve our environment.
But how they act on the recommendation is up to them.
We will be able to guide them on how they can be able to.
And I just saw that behind us over there are some other equipments that perhaps we've not talked about.
Yes.
I want us to move over there. I saw something here like this one. This one here. I don't know whether it's also for stack emission.
No. This one is for indoor air quality. So we explain that we have the ambient air that's outside the houses, outside around the building. But this one we are doing inside a given building. So this is for occupational safety, so that the occupant of a given building we can be able to ensure their safety in their workplace or at that house. So this one is usually used to measure the particulate matter between the indoor air quality.
All right.
Yes.
All right. And I don't know, there's also this.
We have also these ones also there for indoor air quality.
Maybe you can move this one.
So this one also measures the volatile organic carbon. The volatile organic carbon, these are gases that are volatile. volatile means that they can be able to move to different places. What we call grasshopper effect. The grasshopper effect is where we have the gases that are being emitted, for example, from here in Nairobi, can be able to be detected in Mount Kenya. So there is the way the environment itself can be able, you can be able to get a given gas moving from one place to another. Research has shown that different gases have been detected far away from the source, and they can be tracked to the source that they were emitted.
All right.
So this meter, this gadget is able to measure the volatile organic matter or volatile organic carbon, although it will not be able to specify the volatile organic carbon. So once we get that a given volatile organic carbon are more in a given place, then we will go a step further to suck the air, and then we be able to take again to the lab so that we can be able to test using now more sophisticated machine like gas chromatography, mass spectroscopy.
All right.
So again, this gas is able, this gadget is able to measure formalin in our workplace indoor. There are some places that they use formalin during the manufacturing process, and formalin is so volatile, so it's better for that industry to measure the level of their formalin so that it cannot be able to affect their workers. So this instrument is able to do also that
measuring of formalin.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. I want us to finish, but before we finish, I want you to bring this forth so that we finish with probes. All right. So these are basically just probes.
These are they are just probes.
Okay. Then I think in essence, what you're saying that the workplace has so much to be measured.
The workplace, we cannot say that has so much to be measured, but have enough parameters to be measured.
Wow. Because of time, Dr. I think we'll close it there. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you've learned that there are so many parameters to be measured at the place of work. But before we call it a day, the good MD is in the house, and I want her to give us a parting shot even as we bring this to a close. So I want you to look at this camera here and just give us a parting shot in like 2 minutes.
In case you need any services that we have outlined, feel free to contact us. Our numbers are below on your screen. We are on Twitter handle at nexton.com. We are on YouTube at Nexton Limited. Our website is www.nexton-ehs.com. And feel free, and please be safe and enjoy your International Safety Day. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. See you on another special program that will hit your screen very soon. This is Elevate TV, where we are advancing Kingdom Lifestyle.